to PTR Radio with Colin.
Mike the 8-Man was my favorite guy. We're Racist Dave and everything.
Yeah, and I'm still
and then I started listening to PTR exclusively, and then Colin, you're the guy.
And now, back to PTR Radio with Colin.
Good evening and welcome everyone to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. But it's not just Colin on the show. You got myself, Shaggy, and Mike the 8-Man straight out of New Jersey.
I'm very thankful with those facts.
Yes, because a lot of new listeners have never experienced the Colin show, and they're probably better off for it.
Me.
So, welcome. If you're curious about the show, we talk about a little bit of anything and everything that comes to mind. You can interact with the show, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, all those fun things. We're on it. You can also get a hold of us on Twitter. Whatever floats your boat. We got all the methods open, and soon Mike will be able to put your great and wonderful messages up on the screen when they come in. It's just a matter of time
eventually
before everything starts to go great for you. Anyway, before the show, we were talking about Mike and his construction project and how he is building Yabos hideout in his backyard, and we all want to come visit just so that we can try out the half pipe.
For those who may be looking for a little more mainstream reference, it's where Michael stayed when he came from Australia to spend the year at Rydell High.
That's more mainstream?
Barely.
Okay.
But, yes.
You could have said where Brendan Fraser was born.
It was a sequel. Well, no, because listen, nothing will ever be that elaborate. Let's make that perfectly clear.
I was thinking about that. Because Brendan Fraser explains how his dad got that, how Christopher Walken got that bomb shelter built. And he goes, he did it himself, but when he couldn't, he brought in out-of-state contractors. But they never worked on everything. And it was always under the guise of a military contract. I'm like, okay, that shelter had more square footage than their house did above it. They were underneath their neighbors' houses, I believe, because that was just a regular residential neighborhood before, obviously, the plane dropped on their house. But, how did he – I want to know how he did it. I mean, did Elon Musk take a boring machine back in time?
Elon Musk. Listen, so before we go too much further, I do want to point out that during the intro – that phone call was from one of our dedicated, longtime listeners, Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
And we've yet to congratulate Stephen on his 317th child. Finally, he got a girl after all of these attempts.
Oh, man.
So congratulations to Stephen and his family. God bless you.
And I'm sure, given all the previous labors, it was super easy, Just basically had to have the doctor there with a catcher's mitt. I mean, that's all that it took. I mean, probably was faster than Ricky Vaughn at the beginning of Major League 2. I mean, the doctor just went, and a fastball right to him. I'm sure. The reason why Major League 2 is in my head is because it was on TV the other day. All right, I don't remember what channel. It may have been TNT was doing Movies You Love marathon, and so they did all of the Lethal Weapons, and then they did so I got to thinking. I think I'm going to do a category for trivia the next time I run a trivia night called sequel bombs. or something like that. Or, you know, sequels that never should have been, where I will show a screenshot of a sequel and you have to name the original.
I think you should call it Part 2 Doo-Doo.
That actually might be really good. I like that. Part do, you know? So I was thinking of all the movies that have sequels and the horrible sequels to the decent movies, but somewhat obscure sequels. So like the one that I brought up was, you know, one that was pretty simple. Mannequin 2 on the Move. If I showed a screenshot of that, would you ever relate it? Would you know what it was?
Possibly, but only because I am a host on this show. Yeah, there are some really bad ones. And then you could get into like little trivia pieces like, you know, with Jaws 3D, how when they made the next one, they just completely, you know, eliminated that from movie canon. That's no longer part of the story, and nobody admits that it ever happened.
Yeah. Well, and like I was thinking of Zapped 2. I mean, technically there were 3 Zapped movies. But yeah, I don't think anybody's going to remember Zapped 2. You know, I could pick certain scenes from like Revenge of the Nerds 2, and maybe they wouldn't get it. It all depends on which frame you pick, you know, if somebody's going to get it or not. Because you can't pick the frame with like the primary people in it, right? Like the carryovers
like
from the
Police
first one.
Academy 2.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, because that one doesn't really fit as doo-doo. I think when they brought in Lassard's nephew, was that
that was
was Moscow?
No, that
Russia?
was 5 Operation Miami Beach.
Okay, at that point, that's when they jumped the shark.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, it's cool. You know, like you know, E.T. 2. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
There
is
Colins looking at me like, what? Okay.
There's a House 2 that my wife said, really? There was a House 2? And I'm like, yeah, there was a House 2. It was actually a comedy horror. And
well, then
she's
you
like,
get like,
what the hell are you talking? I'm like, yeah, House 2.
Because you had, what was it, American Werewolf in London, but then wasn't the sequel American Werewolf in Paris?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I mean, you could do something like that. But no, that would be a good one.
Yeah, I was, you know.
By the way, because things have opened up, things are looking up that I may wind up being hired to do an event again. Well, and by hired, I mean I will volunteer because I have the equipment and I kind of miss doing it, but for no other reason than that. It's looking up that there may be events in the future. Last I heard, supposedly there was a potential for a bingo.
Ooh, bingo. Nothing wrong with bingo.
Yeah, and you know how they enticed me with it. They enticed me with it by saying, "This time we're going to rent the big board again." So instead of it's the air blower with the big, like what churches have. They rented it, and then you pop the ping pong ball into the thing, and it automatically lights up. I said, okay. The only maintenance I had to do on that last time was I had to use gaffer's tape and tape up some gaps in the blower cabinet because
they got you with technology, did they?
Yeah, they did. And the fact that, you know, the people from that organization that basically drove me out are no longer part of the organization. So
yeah, that'll happen. I'm trying to get for some reason my desktop capture didn't pull the right one, so I'm trying to fix it so that I can show you this. Okay.
So listen, if your first message into this show is trying to get us to buy followers, probably you're gonna get blocked pretty quick.
Yeah, not gonna work. Not gonna work. So Mike, can you name the original for this screenshot?
That's Best of the Best.
Yep, there you go. That was Best of the Best.
And that was Best of the Best 2.
Yep. So
where
Tommy died, I think. Or did Tommy? Somebody died.
Tommy didn't. No, I don't think Tommy died.
But
wait, I remember the
Texas,
one-eyed dude showed up.
Did the Texas guy die? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was doing illegal fights or something.
Travis was the one that got killed. Yes.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, this is what we're good at. Okay, there we go.
Why?
All right. My screen just froze for a second. So, but it's all right now.
Let me see if I can come up with one for you.
You know.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
We are babysitting dogs, and we had a dog-tastrophe going on.
Oh no, not a dog-tastrophe.
Yes, that's the Butterstown lawn flags are great until you have 3 small dogs deciding to tangle up all their leashes into it simultaneously.
Oh, Lord. That's never a good thing. See, I got to do this in a way so that it doesn't show.
Yeah, that took a lot. I had to press F11 so that it got rid of the address.
So, okay, let's see. How can I do this? This ought to be interesting. Let's see. Does it tell me which one is which? I don't remember.
Tell you which one's which.
All right, yes, okay.
All right.
There we go. So do you recognize this one?
Is that a Fast and the Furious?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Just taking a guess.
Yes, that would be Orange Julius from Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh. Yep.
And I'm glad I figured out how to turn that off. Yeah, because obviously when you search for these images, you don't want that showing up in your bar there.
Exactly. So.
But no, that's actually a cool one.
I thought it would be nifty. So.
But then can you do like unofficial ones where you like the Scorpion King was the spin-off of or was a spin-off of The Mummy.
Yeah, could you consider that a sequel? I don't know. And that's like
but then you also have Scorpion King 2.
Yeah.
But it's also technically a prequel, not a sequel.
True. Very true.
But then, so is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Okay, so we'll whip through these because there's way too many on this list. But here's a list of 50 of the worst sequels of all time.
I'm going to give you one of your own. And
what the
I
hell's
forget
that?
who the other person was, but I have them written down.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to ship those out.
I don't want to listen to you. All right, shut up.
I was like, who is this?
I'm like, what? Colin, what are you doing? And then it was, it's me. Okay. So Clerks 2. Police Academy 2, but I think that was
wait. Whoa.
They said it was
They're
horrible.
saying Clerks.
They said Clerks 2 was a bad. This is the 50 worst movie sequels of all time. Clerks 2. This is according to Complex.com. Police Academy 2.
They don't know a damn thing.
So far, they're bad. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Taken 2. I'm not going to argue Taken 2. Conan the Destroyer. Young Guns 2, The Sting 2, The Last Exorcism Part 2, Weekend at Bernie's 2. Come on, that's classic. He's in Jamaica. He's possessed. U.S. Marshals.
Right. I forgot about that one.
Next Friday.
Yeah, U.S. Marshals, because that was.
It's Tommy Lee Jones.
Well,
It was
that was a
Fugitive.
sequel to The Fugitive. Yeah.
The Fly 2, The X-Files,
yes.
I Want to Believe, Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps, Exorcist 2, The Heretic, Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, Return to the Blue Lagoon, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. That was just on TV the other day. Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh, The Chronicles of Riddick. Again,
What?
all the Riddicks were pretty good, I thought. Triple X State of the Union.
Yeah, that one where they brought in Ice Cube. Yeah.
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 Well, but he even makes a cameo in the last one.
Yes, the return of Xander Cage.
Yeah. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. National Lampoon's Van Wilder: The Rise of Taj. I thought that was pretty funny. The Two Jakes. Jack Nicholson, Meg Tilly,
No.
Harvey Keitel. Piranha 3DD. That looks like it's up our aisle, actually, to tell you the truth.
No, that looks like it's up your aisle.
The Rage Carry 2. Fletch Lives. Teen Wolf 2. We talked about that on the last show. Dumb and Dumberer, When Harry Met Lloyd. Jeepers Creepers 2. RoboCop 2. Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf. The Ring 2, Aliens vs. Predator, Requiem, Evan Almighty. I thought Evan Almighty was pretty good. The Hangover Part 2, The Crow City of Angels. The Hills Have Eyes 2, Grease 2, Blues Brothers 2000.
That was just horrible.
Too Fast, Too Furious, The Hills Have Eyes 2. The 1985 version, Caddyshack 2.
Let's say Blues Brothers 2000. It was a good soundtrack.
Caddyshack
That's a
2
very
they
good
didn't
soundtrack.
like. Be Cool, whatever that is. Book of Shadows.
That was
Blair Witch 2.
That was Be Cool was a sequel to Get Shorty, I think, with John Travolta.
Okay. Yeah. Son of Mask, The Matrix Reloaded, Basic Instinct 2. And then at number 2 is Staying Alive, and number 1, and this is one that I told my wife the other day. I'm like, I haven't watched this movie, which is the original, and then when we were talking about this, she's like, oh yeah, they did make a sequel to that, Speed 2: Cruise Control.
Oh God, forgot about
That's
that.
the best
one. Yeah.
decision Keanu Reeves ever made.
Yep.
So. Yep.
I'm glad Sandra Bullock's career did not tank as a result of that movie.
Oh, we were watching Pretty Woman the other day, and I know it's different actress, but I'm like, yeah, this is really when her career took off. I'm like, then she played Erin Brockovich and all these other things. So
Runaway Bride.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we didn't get to this on the last show, so we wanted to make sure that we get to it bright and early in this show. I've got a new game, and this one is called Answer the Internet. Questions as effed up as you are. Now this is
Challenge accepted.
This is from Barstool Sports.
Oh God!
And basically, these are great conversation starters. I did a test round with my daughter and her boyfriend last night, and I thought it was great. So we're just going to take some random cards, and then we'll all three of us can give the answer because it's not like an apples to apples variant or anything like that. We can all answer. So here is the question. All right, here's a poll. I'll tell you what, you guys. I'll give this one to just you two, and you guys can guess the percentage. Okay, guess the percentage of Barstool readers who said the answer to this is disgusting. All right, and the question is eating out a stripper at a bachelor party something to brag about, or is it just disgusting? How many people said it was disgusting? What percentage? Mike?
Well, this is Barstool Sports we're talking about.
Yes.
So I'm going
Just
to
clarifying
go.
that we're not talking about us.
What's that?
So definitely clarifying that we're talking them, not us.
Yep.
Yes. I'm going to say 15% said it was disgusting.
15% said it was disgusting, according to Mike. Colin, how about you?
12.
Oh, you underestimate the Barstool Sports. 93% of Barstool Sports readers said it was disgusting.
All right, well, I'm closer without going over. I am shocked at that. I really am. I'm sorry. These are people who these are people that religiously buy that Pink Whitney grapefruit vodka stuff that they sell. Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah, if I was trying to win, I would have gone over 15, but 12 was the number I decided in my head, and I stuck with it.
Okay, here's a great one. This is in the category of debate the internet. So there's no definitive answer. We just have to pick which one we like best. So this is a think on your feet one, okay?
Okay.
What are the funniest names for a fantasy football team?
The deflated balls.
Okay. Colin, do you have one?
You say fantasy football team?
Fantasy football team, yep.
It's better than soccer.
See, I was going to go with splitting the uprights.
Yeah.
Because of Barstool Sports, I thought that would be, right up their alley.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that's a good one. Here's one. Who's the best fat athlete of all time? Colin, you go first this time. Who's the best fat athlete of all time?
Oh, fat athlete.
Fat athlete.
Well, that's easy, considering the fridge.
Oh, the fridge. You going with back to football, okay?
Andre the Giant.
See, I was thinking of Andre the Giant, but then I thought, no, because he's proportional. He's not fat. He's
That's what I was thinking.
proportional.
I went wrong with...
So I was gonna go. I was gonna go with, It's not Mean Gene was the referee. It was, and Junkyard Dog was the black guy. Who was the one with all the rubber bands in his goatee?
Captain Lou Albano.
Yes, Captain Lou Albano. That's who I was going to go with.
He was not an athlete. He was a manager.
No,
So he
did
didn't
not
actually
he
wrestle.
I thought he wrestled.
No. He was a manager. He was responsible for the Rock and Wrestling Connection, Revolution, whatever the hell it was. All right, so if...
No, because
Andre the
here's
Giant, you're right, because he is kind of proportionate.
Here's Hillbilly Jim, Andre the Giant, and Captain Lou Albano versus, was an Italian-American professional wrestler, manager, and actor.
Who was it versus?
That was versus the, hold on, I've got to bring up the YouTube video, the Heenan family.
Okay, so he was wrestling against Bobby the Brain Heenan as manager. So it was their tag team and a manager. But, okay, if he was a wrestler beforehand, fine. That was before my time. All right, so greatest fat athlete. I'm starting to think that maybe I'm going to go with Rikishi, who was another wrestler, cousin of The Rock. He actually, danced and stuff.
Okay, so I just looked it up. Greatest fat athletes of all time is actually a list.
Oh, God. Just give me the top three.
Sean Kemp, William the Refrigerator Perry, and Butterbean.
Butterbean. I forgot about Butterbean.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we all forgot about Big Sally Graziano.
Here, we did. Yeah. Here you go. Colin, what is the fiercest animal you think you could take in a fight?
Fiercest animal that I could take in a fight.
Yeah, this is bare hands.
Oh wait, this is back to Barstool again, right?
These are all Barstool, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no definitive answer. You just tell us. What do you think you could take down? Chicken? Emu? Bear? Koala?
Gilbert?
Penguin? Goldfish?
I'm just trying to think of something.
Parakeet? Praying mantis? I don't know. You tell me.
Fierce animal I could take that we could take down. I don't. Let's go with
Monkey?
badger.
A bat? You think you could take down a badger?
I have no idea if I could take down a badger. If that's the animal I decided to.
Okay.
That's the hill he's going to die on right now. Okay.
Right. Mike, how about
said
you?
Badger, not He said badger, not honey badger.
Honey badger, because honey badger don't care.
What? Lemming, maybe?
Lemming.
Or meerkat?
Little lemming, you know?
Or
just lead him toward a cliff. Meerkat.
I don't know. The biggest or meanest? What was the biggest?
The fiercest. Animal? Fiercest.
Fiercest. Oh, fiercest animal.
Yes, fierce.
So what's little but fierce? Let's see. I don't know, man. I'm thinking maybe a raccoon.
Raccoon, you say?
They could be evil little bastards, you know.
Oh, they got claws.
They slam doors on you, and I have video proof of this.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think I'm going to go with. See, because you guys went really small. I mean, you know, you're big men.
I wasn't. Oh, listen, well, you said fiercest. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. I'm
gonna go.
Fine. I'm gonna go with Rosie O'Donnell when I withhold her ho-hos. How about that?
I think I'm gonna go with like goat. Goats can be pretty fierce. Yeah, goat.
Like I thought about like maybe like a wild boar, but I've seen too many of those episodes where they go those feral boars, man. They go hunting those things, and the minute they start screaming, which I've seen enough vet episodes of like Dr. K's Exotic Animal ER, where pigs just scream. That's all they do. Mm-hmm. They just scream. That's their only defense. Scream and shit. And I don't
the wild
deal
pigs
with
though, they got
either
teeth.
of those. Wild pigs are just
they got bad teeth. They got like English people teeth. I mean, it's horrible. But,
I don't know. Maybe I could take on a snapping turtle because they're fierce. As long as you stay away from the business end, you're okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here's the next one. If you had to win a game show to stay alive, which game show would you choose? So this is life or death. You have to play the game show and you have to win. Which game show are you choosing? But it's your choice of game show. So Colin, what game show are you going to play for your life?
Game show I'm going to play for my life. Well, I'll tell you what I'm not going to be playing.
The Chase?
I'm not going to play the Chase.
Well, we got to talk about that one because there's a development with the Chase that I found interesting. But can it be game shows that are no longer on the air?
Yes, but they have to have been filmed in color. Let's put it that way. All right.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair.
All right. So, Mike, how about you? What Colin thinks?
I'm thinking there was a game show, and I don't know if it was really a game show, but I seem to remember where amateur athletes took on professionals.
Yeah, it was called American Gladiators.
No,
the professionals were like Laser and Blazer and Taser, and
that's
no.
I'm thinking it was where like something like average. It might have actually been called something like Average Joe's or something, where like I would say I would be at the rink and all of a sudden a professional hockey player would show up and start shooting on me like that kind.
Pros versus Joes.
That's it.
Was
Pros
an
versus
American
Joes.
physical reality game show that aired on Spike from 2006 until 2010.
I would say either that or Welcome to Myrtle Manor.
What's it? So you have your life in your hand, and you're going to pick a game show that puts you up against a professional. So like you're just doing your triple lutzes at the ice rink, getting ready for the game, and suddenly you're playing against Gordie Howe. And,
well, that'd be easy because he might be dead.
All right, fine. You're playing against, I don't know, somebody who's really, really good, and that's what you're going to pick?
Well, I don't know what. Listen, I don't have the brain power to compete on any of these other ones. I'm not that agile that I could compete on Wipeout.
Okay, yeah.
I am not going to do American Ninja Warrior because, well, we saw that just digging a damn hole, I can't hold on to anything with this hand. Now I got the opposite of crab hands here.
Well, and now they've lowered the age to 16, and some teenager's going to whoop your ass, and you're going to die.
So, yeah, salmon ladder, forget it. I'd just be like, I'm out. I'm done. So, I don't know. Is there some kind of like racing game? Oh, there was a celebrity NASCAR racing thing where they were paired up with a pro driver. Because I remember Jewel was on there driving against her husband.
Fast cars and superstars.
Now, technically, I'm not a superstar, but that was not part of the qualification. So I'm going to go with that one because I can drive. I got the game and the wheel to prove it.
All right, Colin, did you figure out a game yet?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the wall.
The wall. I don't even know what the wall is. Hopefully you don't have to climb it.
Isn't that like the giant? Isn't that the giant?
Is it
Plinko game?
Yeah. And all you have to do is, at the end, you either sign the contract and get the money you got from answering questions, or you don't sign the contract and get the money from the wall. So you just make sure you sign the contract and you're golden.
See, he thought about this way too much. He had too much time.
See, for some reason, I got in my head, I'm gonna play the old TV show Bumper Stumpers.
What the hell is that?
It's where you had to basically decode people's license plates, vanity license plates. It was a Canadian game show.
I was thinking of something like a password and
like the pyramid
match game.
Well,
I was thinking those,
but match game might have rocked on. That would have been good, depending upon who's on the panel.
Depending on who I got paired with, whoever was on my team, I might do 25 words or less. I don't know if you guys have seen this game show yet.
No,
but it's on at lunchtime, so it's on Fox 5. Meredith Vieira hosts it, and basically, it's kind of like Password, where you have to get your
limited number of words to describe it.
Yeah, so I might consider that depending on who my teammates are. Just the celebrities, I could tell you that what's the guy, Ross Matthews? Is that his name? I would take him and Greg Grunberg as my teammates and put my life in their hands.
Never know. They might choke under the pressure, knowing that they got your life in their hands.
But they can't know that my life is in their hands until afterwards, because then I don't want the pressure on them. I need them to perform, goddammit.
I tell you, the game show I'd most like to see come to the U.S. is Pointless.
Why is it pointless?
It's a reverse Family Feud. So with Family Feud, you're trying, especially in the final round, you're trying to find the answers that most other people picked. Pointless, you're trying to find the one that least people said. Hopefully nobody said. So they'll ask 100 people to name WWE wrestlers. So if you said Andre the Giant,
Bob Barker,
you'd have a very high score. It'd be 98. But if someone come up with someone who's very obscure and nobody said, then he scores 0.
So but it would have to be someone who. But it would have to be someone who is actually been a wrestler. So, you couldn't say Bob Barker and get points, because obviously Bob Barker has never been a wrestler. All right, but I could say Doink the Clown.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So about the chase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm wondering, are ratings that bad, or did they just decide, hey, let's really kick it up, because they brought the Beast from the original British version.
Uh-huh.
Well, hadn't he been doing it on Game Show Network?
Yes, he was the original U.S. The Chase. He was on there. What they said is that they decided in the first season to just have the 3 Jeopardy guys. And then they always plan to bring the Beast in for season 2. And as time goes on, they are planning to bring in more chasers, much like the UK version does.
Okay. All right.
Also, they made a lot of changes to the second season of The Chase. So, for example, they finally got standards and practices to let them have the host read the questions before the episode shoots. So that's not the first time she's seen the questions and has to read them that fast. Season 1, during the cash builder, they were doing $25,000 an answer. And they realized that meant that nobody was ever going to go for the higher answer, because when they already had $200,000, it's why would I pick the option to go $300,000? That's $200,000. So they reduced that to $10,000. So now they have people choosing between $60,000 and $300,000. So then you got a little more of a decision for people to make there. So anyway, it is moving a lot better. That first season of The Chase in the new version was not just a bit, was extremely slow.
All right. So, left, right, center. Which one do you want? First. Left, right, or center? I got 3 cards in front of me. Colin, which
I think
one?
right.
Right. Okay. If you were born with your hand stuck in only one of the rock, paper, or scissors, motions forever, which position would you pick?
I'm trying to figure out where the other fingers go for scissors.
Well, it just goes like this.
Yeah, definitely paper.
Paper. So you're going robot hands your whole life, like a penguin.
You said one hand.
No,
right?
Your hands, plural. They only get one position. Yeah, both.
This is the dumbest question ever. There is no alternative. It's got to be. It's got to be paper. Because you can't walk around with fists all the time.
You might get punched.
That's why I asked. If it was one, right? If it was only one hand, my left hand is going to be a fist for the rest of my life. And you come to deal with me, you got two choices. Slow death, quick mercy. Okay? Scissors is too vulnerable, right? Somebody could just come and be like, Hakata! And guess what? Now you got, how did I cast that? They don't, just cut them off. So then you're going to be.
Well, but you can poke their eyes out really easily with scissors. You just got to, snake bite them.
No, that doesn't work because all they got to do is, right? At least this way, your hands, you can slap the shit at somebody if you want. Karate chop.
You got to learn karate chop.
They break boards this way. So I get, the one guy we talk about best of the best too. The one guy broke a board this way.
Yeah.
With ridge hand. So that's the only option here. All right. You can't wash yourself with fists. You can't wipe yourself with scissors.
Well, you can. I mean, I guess if you got somebody to wrap the paper around it,
you can't be mad. You can't just be an evil person if you're constantly giving people the peace sign.
Yeah, exactly. I so hate you. I can't stand you.
That is the dumbest question that they could put in this thing. Go ahead. Let's see what left has to offer.
How many grown men would it take to kill a grizzly bear with their bare hands?
I stand corrected. With their bare hands. I don't know. What position are their hands locked in?
Let's say you got at least 3 guys, and so one of every position.
No, definitely not 3. They're dead.
And what kind of grizzly bear are we talking about here?
Mama bear.
Mama bear?
Yeah.
19,500. Or 300 Spartans. Out for a walk.
Mm-hmm. I want to guess they're around 30 to make sure.
I mean...
Right, and what type of men are we talking about here? Men like us or men like The Rock?
You better double it if it's men like us.
Because
men like us,
The Rock...
You get about 100 of them, lift them above the bear, and drop us all on top of the bear for about 100 feet. But just basically use this as ammunition. So, actually, if you use this as ammunition, maybe one.
Mama Belair is crossing questions here because she's saying bare hands, the claws... No, we don't. Our hands are not stuck as bare hands.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm going with at least a dozen guys, at least. But I also saw The Revenant, so I know it's more than one.
Here's another great question that men have been asking for years. I mean, eons, really. This is probably in the Bible. Would you rather have wet socks for a whole year or a year-long cold?
Year-long cold.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm thinking so, too.
At the end of the year...
I hate wet socks. I hate my feet being wet.
Oh, that's the point. After a year, you would not have feet anymore. So I'd rather, at the end of the year, listen to... what movie was that? Was that Forrest Gump or was that Apocalypse Now? Which is the one that with the
What are you talking about?
Forrest Gump.
Forrest
We
Gump.
got two
Forrest
rules.
Gump.
Everyone fights. Take care of your feet.
Yep.
Clean socks. Change them out every chance you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
These are some really good
many
ones.
Guys would it take to kill a bear? Barehanded.
Would you rather date a 9 with a really annoying voice or a 4 with the sexiest voice ever?
I'm not answering that. I'm not answering that. No good can come from that. I'm not answering. Nope. I'm just going to drink my Terramana and be done with it.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say neither of those have much to do with anything.
Would you give
Everything
up sex?
Froze up for a second. I thought we lost you.
No.
All right.
Would you give up sex to be able to dunk?
No.
That's only in the Barstools kit. You know, that only they would think, oh, yeah, basketball more important. This one's for you, Mike. It's exclusively for you.
Oh, God.
Would you rather walk with a rollerblade on your left shoe for the rest of your life, or have an angry midget walking in front of you slightly slower than you want to go for the rest of your life?
Oh, that's an easy one. I want the angry midget. Because it doesn't say why he's angry. You know why he's angry? Because he has a tray for a head. And he is carrying my food and drinks wherever I go.
So I saw this game. They play it on another radio show that I follow, and I just thought, oh, these are hilarious little conversation starter questions. So I needed to have it, and luckily I got it. So, you know.
Are we allowed to call them midgets anymore?
Well, Barstool.
I feel like
we're
we committed. Okay, I feel like we did something.
Yeah. Barstool called them that. We just read the card.
All right. So, as I referenced, I finally gave in, and I purchased a bottle of Terramana tequila.
Oh, you finally got wore down by all the Instagram ads? And
I don't
posts?
follow The Rock on Instagram anymore. We actually went out and I had a cocktail made with it, and I was like, this is actually not bad tequila. Now, if by the time I'm done with this, if I start asking about going skiing, then it will prove my theory that that's why I got into trouble all those years ago. But no, this is it's pretty smooth. It is a little strong. Once the ice melted, it was a little bit better. But what kills me is you go to their website, and they have a whole list of recipes where, of course, everything has to be a play on the name.
Yeah.
And instead of a B-A-Y breeze, they have a B-A-E breeze, a bay breeze. And immediately I said, I suddenly hate you. Because that is the one word. I hate when people call their significant other my bae.
Yeah. So, similarly, I ordered some new stuff. It should be here by the next show. You know, I love my Three Brothers cider, right? Order it all the time. In fact, Colin, before I could order it, Colin and I were going to stop by the brewery and, you know, bootleg some home after we visited you. I was actually asking him what the dimensions of his trunk were so that I could figure out how much I could purchase. You know, but, you know, now I can order it and have it delivered, which is nice. For me, bad for the UPS guy. You know, it's not the lightest thing in the world for him to deliver. But they just came out with a new flavor that I ordered. Like I said, it should be here within a couple days. Cherry Limeade hard cider.
Okay.
You know, it's, you know, got good reviews so far, so I'm excited. I like most of their stuff. So
yeah, Shaggy does the mead. I mean, does the cider. I do the mead, which is what I was drinking with my actual mead mug here.
I saw that the local Benny's has a small mead section. When I was in there the other day.
Yeah, in fact, the mead I buy, the Groenfell, they're now distributed to Illinois. So I'm not sure if it's shown up anywhere around here, but it's technically possible it could.
Yep. So, but yeah. So I'm excited about a new product coming in. What? Now they got another one. They just came out with another one today. Banana Tutti Frutti hard cider. I don't know that I want a banana cider.
Nope.
That just seems odd. Seems really odd. But I kind of want to try it just to say I've tried it, because I tried their pineapple orange. Turns out that is a great breakfast drink. But anyway. All right, on to some of the items on our white list, since we do have a couple. Now,
just a few.
We talked about the COVID crisis for the last year, I think. And I think that, not maybe we're saying it, but a lot of people are saying, hey, we're getting towards the end. We're over the hump with inoculations happening across the country at a pretty good clip. Now all we have to do is deal with inoculation hesitancy. Now, as we've discussed, everybody on the show has gotten their vaccines, and we, encourage other people, to not just do internet research, but, do legitimate. If you have questions, talk to your doctor, and, get the vaccine that, is right for you. But employers are also getting on the bandwagon because it's, at least currently, it is allowable for them to say that you have to have the vaccine to continue to be employed for them and to come into the office. Although there are some lawsuits, I guess, that are questioning whether that policy is actually correct or not. And this all stems from, really hospitals and medical providers have always had a policy of, listen, you get if you want to work here, you get your flu vaccine every year. You get you're up to date on your vaccinations. Just like when we all went to school and we had to have all of our vaccinations, right? I don't remember when I was in school anybody saying, well, okay, we have a maybe there were some religious-based exemptions, but we didn't have soccer moms on Facebook who just decided that they liked Jennifer McCarthy, and, that was why they weren't going to do it.
So here are a couple of things on that. First, there are only certain vaccines that were required, and
yes,
they were generally accepted as safe. And when we were growing up, also, not every other kid was on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I do believe that autism, I don't want to downplay it, but I do believe that it's a quick diagnosis for what may or may not be wrong with someone. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that gets tied to the whole vaccine issue.
Yes.
I am not commenting either way because I'm sure I'll piss somebody off, and I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole today.
I feel what I can say with confidence is people without proper medical degrees are drawing assumptions between two things which may or may not be related, and that doesn't make much sense. All right? Just because one thing happens doesn't necessarily mean another thing happens, or the first thing is the cause of the second thing. All right?
Yeah. So this thing here about employers, I believe a lot of this has to do with the type of work we're talking about.
Yeah.
Frontline workers who are constantly going to be dealing with the public, I could possibly see that as being a requirement. Folks like us who don't deal with the public, only possibly don't deal with anyone face-to-face except in rare conditions, I don't see where that would be a requirement. But here's my big thing. I think they're putting the cart before the horse, because as of right now, this is still being administered under the emergency use authorization.
And that is what this slew of lawsuits that's going on is about. Lawsuits are mushrooming across the country saying that, yes, they recognize that employers do have the right to enforce vaccination requirements. However, the current laws on the books apply to government contracts only. There is nothing, there's nothing in force that says what does or doesn't apply to private industry. And also that nothing on the books currently encompasses abbreviated timeline emergency use applications and authorizations. So really, there is no measuring stick for the legality of the enforcement of these emergency use medications or administered inoculations that don't have full formal FDA approval. And so what the defendants in this case are saying is, or what the plaintiffs in this case are saying is, unlike flu vaccines, which have undergone clinical trials resulting in full FDA approval, you don't have that in these cases. And therefore, you can't apply the same logic and requirements because these are still technically emergency use authorizations only. Once FDA gives full approval, then the world is different. Then the laws are different because there's established case precedents already. But until then, there is no case precedent for the requirement, and they're saying that it's a violation. And I can understand, at least legally, where they're coming from. It doesn't mean that I necessarily have to agree with them, but I can see legally where their point is coming from. And as more campuses, as more employers, as more businesses prepare to call remote workers back to the office, these are the types of things they will have to encounter and deal with. Because if they don't have the authorization to enforce these types of things, then maybe their plans have to be put on hold a little bit longer. Go ahead, Colin.
I just want to say, so there was a problem with what you were reading there to say that it hasn't gone through all the testing. That's incorrect. It's gone through all the testing. The only difference between full approval and emergency approval is that they have not gone through all of the red tape. And it takes a year to get through all the red tape. There's no extra safety that comes from the year of red tape. It's just there's a lot of rules built into the system that says that there's a bunch of time that has to go by before every janitor has approved it.
Well, and I think part of that comes down to, and this is the only credence I will give to the argument is that, and you could take this and you can expand it way beyond what I'm going to say here, is that, they're still finding side effects that were not exposed in the original test groups. There was just a link to some potential heart issues that were linked up. Now, again, it's a very rare scenario, but the types of things that only time will tell. To your point, Colin, that red tape is there to find, right?
Yes.
So, that's the only thing I'm giving credence
and there
to
is
this.
a part. Yeah, but there's also a part of this that because it's under emergency use right now, any of us that got the vaccination, because it's emergency use, I believe they are protected from any legal action as a result of taking this vaccine.
That's right.
If they have FDA approval and they're like full, honest approval, so there's a safety issue, and I agree with you. Do I think that there's any credence that there could be long-term effects that we don't know about? Perhaps.
Right, and I'm not saying that there aren't.
I think the chances are low, but there's people who are genuinely concerned about the safety. There are people that want that safety net saying, well, now that it has been approved by the FDA, if I get sick as a result of this, I have legal recourse.
Right.
Right? And then there are folks that are just like,
They're just
Well,
obstructionists.
You can't tell me what to do. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and
there's
let
different
me point
reasons,
out,
and I'm not justifying any one as being right, wrong, or indifferent, but I do kind of understand. I don't think until these are approved, I don't think that the companies have the legal authority to mandate it.
Yeah,
That's especially since there are alternate working arrangements already in place. It's not like they're saying you cannot do your job if you don't have this vaccine. If you've been doing your job all along,
yeah, and let me point out just real quickly here, Colin, that there might be long-term things that we don't know about with the vaccine. We know for a fact there are long-term effects of COVID-19. Those have been documented. We know about those already. So don't think that you're saving yourself from one potential bad thing, for another. That may not necessarily be the case. So don't let the worry about what's in the vaccine push you towards a real potential issue long term. So
I'm not going to claim that's a good thing, but I will say it is a state by state difference. There are some states where if you fire someone, you have to give a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of other states, they don't have to have a reason. They can fire you just because they don't like you.
Yeah.
And there is no legal protection on saying that I don't want to be vaccinated, but you can't fire me. That's not a legally protected thing. I'm not sure that's an okay thing, but that is the situation people are going to be in.
Yeah, I mean, there's like I said, there's arguments going all around this. Now, to Mike's point about companies bringing people back when there are working alternatives, I just saw an article today, and I think I posted it in Slack. Apple had made an announcement, and an internal memo had leaked a while ago that they were going to bring everybody back into campus. They were going to start bringing back people at least 3 days a week, and depending upon your particular role, it might be 5 days a week. Well, turns out maybe Apple doesn't know what their employees actually want, because I guess there is a large sector of the employees that said, no, that's not what we want, and your idea that it creates more performance and more synergy and whatever other buzzword you want to throw at it is incorrect. And Apple's not alone in this backlash of employees. There have been numerous companies, according to at least this article, that have found out that now that their employees are returning to home, are home and being asked to return back to work, a lot of their employees are retiring, are finding other opportunities to continue to stay at home. There was an article that we didn't quite get to in the last show that showed that I think they looked at maybe it was 50,000 people that they surveyed. It said that they would rather continue to work from home than get a $30,000 a year pay raise.
Yep.
And I can definitely
them.
believe it, because when you look at, especially the way like I have been operating the last year, not having to go into the office, not having to worry about the drive home, not having to worry about the additional costs for lunches and all that other stuff, my reality has been somewhat small because we don't have any kids at home. You take that and you amplify it by somebody who maybe has 2 children that they have to have, say, after-school care for. All right? But really, you don't need after-school care. You just need somebody to be there so that the kids don't catch the house on fire. All right? You just need somebody around to make sure that doesn't happen. You get a parent with 2 kids, childcare is expensive. It's ridiculously expensive. And so now you get a parent who's working from home who can every 30 minutes just check in and say, hey, you haven't killed your sister yet, have you? Rather than having to pay for that child care, that's a significant savings for that family. Not only that, but if you look at maybe you take somebody who's maybe working out of Chicago, so suddenly 3 hours of their day is consumed with just commuting back and forth to work or more. And now that is given back to them in personal time, that they can do things that they want to do. Those are immeasurable benefits that people are seeing as a result of being able to work from home. And yet, in the majority of cases, performance and everything at the companies hasn't suffered because of it. If anything, it's improved. So, this movement of companies to bring their employees back in, I think, is going to backfire on a lot of them.
Yep.
And we're already seeing it.
So, I don't like to read into all the conspiracy theories about what's going on out there, especially in light of the Freedom of Information Act email dump that came out. Mm-hmm. And folks, I have not sifted through all of these emails. When things are pointed out, I go back and if you post up a meme that references them, I don't care. If you post up the actual email as it was released from the Freedom of Information Act, you have my attention.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theories are ridiculous. And, tying this back to the whole vaccination requirements, and I truly think that this is a case where the federal government needs to provide some guidance on what states can and companies can and cannot do. I don't think you can leave it. You right to work state or not. I agree that may complicate things, but there has to be some kind of unified guidance. We saw how this created chaos when it came to lockdown recommendations, masking requirements. Even now, it's still creating chaos.
Oh yeah,
right.
Because as some states open back up, you still have local municipalities who are enforcing either more stringent or less stringent guidelines than other adjoining ones, and so you end up with all these issues. And it's crazy. My wife and I started going back to church, and she's like, "Well, should I wear my mask? Should I not wear my mask?" I'm like, "You do whatever you're comfortable with. Whatever makes you happy. If they don't like it, tough." I said, but, this is, and I'm like, I just don't care what people think. If they don't like that I'm wearing a mask in a business or whatever, that's their problem, not mine. Go ahead,
So
Mike,
here's the thing. New Jersey was criticized. Like, Governor Murphy was raked over the coals because New Jersey and Hawaii were the last two states and Hawaii. What Hawaii does, because they are an island way out, not part of the mainland, mm-hmm. Jersey was the last one in the mainland that still required residents, vaccinated or not, to wear masks indoors. And he was getting crucified for it. So he finally changed and followed CDC guidance the Friday before Memorial Day and said, indoors, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. And we're not going to check. Somebody in the press conference asked him about vaccine passports, and he said that he's not opposed to it. Now, my point, again, that is something that if showing or requiring that you show proof of vaccination for specific things, that guidance has to be handled at the federal level. My opinion. You cannot dole that out as a responsibility to the individual governors and the state governments, because it will go along party lines. That will happen, and this divide will continue. We need some kind of unified guidance, whether you agree with it or not. The federal government is the one that has to make a decision on something like that, because that is
they can guide, but I don't think they can legally dictate that.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. What were to happen if all the states said, you know what, we're not gonna we're not going to recognize the driver's license from other states. And so if you want to drive in our state, you've got to get our driver's license to drive through our state. Because if you don't have centralized guidance and you don't have some overarching authority, then that is what you effectively end up with, is we end up with a bunch of micro countries and we don't end up with a United States. So,
if I'm not remember correctly, I believe driver's licenses are not dictated by the federal government.
Driver's licenses are not, because the state requirements are different. However, a vaccination passport, which would be recognized internationally the same way a United States passport is recognized internationally, I believe would have to be done at a federal level so that there is one standard that everyone's following.
Yeah,
So
that's why getting
it could be a rider on the U.S. passport. I mean, do what now?
So that's why it's been so difficult to get these new, more secure driver's licenses in, because so many states didn't want to do it.
Well, agreed. And that just kind of furthers my point that something like that should be on a national level, that at least the program should be overseen by national. So it's the same program, same ID, same everything across the board.
Yeah, you're probably getting the constitutional problems there. A driver's license could technically be nationalized since you're talking about interstates. But up to now, that's pretty much been a local thing.
Yeah, but again, to my point, driver's license is not recognized for international travel. That's what a passport is for, and a passport is regulated by the U.S. government. So that's where I'm not the state government.
Yes, but the states don't have to recognize a passport if they don't want to.
True.
Oh, that's why I was looking up. Why do the states have to abide by the identification cards of other states? Because I think that it may not be a federal law, but I think it's a federal joint agreement between all the states.
Yeah, there's been some compacts between the states. So, yeah, all the states have agreed that your driver's licenses do transfer.
Yes, it's the driver's license compact is an agreement between states in the United States of America. The compact is used to exchange data between motorists' home state and the state where the motorist incurred a vehicular infraction. That is an example of national coordination. And that's what I'm saying.
That one you're looking at was superseded by the driver's license agreement. Yes.
Okay.
And that actually was an agreement between all the states, not involving federals.
Yeah. But
I don't know. Anyway. That's a very complex thing. Although, so as an example, here in Illinois, people started getting messages from the Illinois Department of Transportation saying that they needed to verify their driver's license. And so I had to go to a website to go in and enter the driver's license information to verify it. And I was watching going, if you're going to go to the trouble of getting these screenshots and stuff, wouldn't somewhere along the lines you realize that the Illinois Department of Transportation has nothing to do with driver's licenses? Here in Illinois, the Secretary of State is responsible for the DMV, not the Department of Transportation.
Yeah, I love using that example.
Words, we at transportation deal with the roads themselves. We don't deal with your little thing that says you can drive on it.
That's New Jersey as well. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens. Even on the state level, I'm I'm so frustrated because of
Yeah.
the legislature that passed. They ended the damn emergency, or they signed a bill Friday to end the health emergency in New Jersey, but in order to do that, they basically codified 14 of the governor's executive orders related to the health emergency into law until January 1st. So they basically just eliminated the health emergency in name only, and it was 100% partisan vote that had, and the bill had 0 committee hearings for public input.
Oh yeah, I hate
So this is the first time ever I actually watched a bill proceeding for the state online as it was happening, and you could hear the protesters outside the Senate while they were hearing arguments, preparing to vote. You could hear the protesters outside almost as loud as the senators that were speaking. And it's, again, partisan. Now in New Jersey, they're trying to blame the nursing home deaths on the actual nurses by trying to pass a bill saying that they need to completely redo the guidance and oversight of nurses in long-term care facilities to prevent the deaths that happened during the pandemic from ever happening again. Wow. You're going to blame the nurses for all of those deaths. Wow.
And we know it's
really
not the
should
nurses.
move on because
No. We know it's not the nurses. They don't do any work. So it can't be their fault.
The nurses do a lot of work, but they're still the kitchen staff.
I was just joking.
Janitorial staff. They tried as hard as they could. It's an impossible thing.
It has nothing to do with, and speaking specifically in the long-term care facilities, it has nothing to do with the executive orders signed by our governor telling hospitals to send COVID-positive residents of long-term care facilities back if they're not showing any symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens when the hospital's full.
Yeah, but the hospitals weren't.
At no time.
In New Jersey, at no time did the hospital bed count exceed, I want to say, like 78-point-something%. That's as full as our hospital system got.
Yeah.
So that was never an issue.
Moving on from federal politics to more local politics, I just saw this
Please,
note.
God, yes.
Wisconsin homeowners told to remove LGBTQ pride flag because it violated the HOA rules.
Okay. What did the HOA rule specifically say? Gay pride flag, or to say no flags?
It said there shall be only one flag flown, and that shall be the U.S. flag. Not even a flag representing a sports team is permissible. The problem is, in this case, they picked the wrong house to screw with. Because that person knows the HOA rules. And so what they did, it's quite genius. They did take down their flag.
Brilliant.
They did take down their flag. And then they got technological with their response. And they used Philips Hue lights to illuminate their house as a giant rainbow house during the evening.
That's brilliant right there.
Said he already had all the spotlights in place. All he had to do was buy a few Philips Hue bulbs and load an app on his phone. Oh. I love it when they just can say, all right, I see your complaint and raise you. Oh.
Yeah, I would say you could write an entire podcast with daily episodes with stupid HOA stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, so I just love that. I just really love it. So, alrighty. Here, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to get to our double feature movie review tonight. We've got a couple of movies to watch. Making Babies and Mr. Right. You won't want to miss that, folks. If you are a movie buff, you will want to hear what we have to say about those two. All right, but before that, let's see here. One last article is that we want to talk about. Let's try something that's not COVID. We found a lot of product shortages during this last year. And as a result, some companies have decided that they're just not going to make some of their products any longer. Coca-Cola has decided there's 10 products they're just going to discontinue. Actually, they're going to discontinue 200 of its beverage brands, but here are the 10 that you might know the most. Tab. If you like Tab soda, it is on the hit list. You can remember Tab from Back to the Future.
Yes.
I think all the people who drink Tab are finally dying.
Dead. Adwala, which is a juice drink.
I never heard of it.
Juice and smoothie brand. It's been in the lineup since 2001. Zico coconut water. I believe I've seen it on the shelf. I've never seen anybody take it off the shelf. Next up, Coca-Cola Life. Now, we wouldn't know it around here, but it was first released in Argentina and Chile in 2013. It's a stevia sweetened drink containing only 89 calories. It's also available in the UK in 2014. It was rolled out in the US, but by 2016, the novelty had worn off. Coca-Cola Black, the coffee plus Coke variant.
So that's kind of ironic because they just brought Coke with coffee back, both coffee and vanilla, and it's delicious. So the fact that they got rid of Coca-Cola Black, I don't know, maybe is the naming.
Could be.
It's probably the same freaking formula. They just renamed it.
Could be. Coca-Cola C2, which is without the calorie and carb load. It's basically half of the carbs of the original Coca-Cola. But it lost out to Coke Zero. Next one, OK Soda. This doesn't look like anything that we would be interested in. Didn't live up to the hype. It's been on the chopping block since 95. Diet Coke with lime. I believe I tried this. I did not like it. Didn't like it at all. And every time they try something with a new flavor, it's usually not a great, you got Coke, you got Cherry Coke, and Diet Coke. Stick with those three. You don't need any more.
So this is not a recent list, by the way, I've figured out. This is like a list of everything Coke has ever gotten rid of.
Diet Coke Feisty Cherry. All right. New Coke, obviously, we know that one was gone a while ago. So those are the ones that were either already chopped or on the chopping block.
Yeah. Yeah, like C2 went away in 2013. It was actually replaced by Coca-Cola Life.
And then finally, just a touch point. Did you guys see, is it, who's going into space first? Private citizen. Who's going into space first? Because it's not
Well, it sure does explain why he decided to quit his job, doesn't it?
Yeah. Bezos. Bezos is
of
going to
course.
be on the first crewed flight of the Blue Origin rocket, and he will beat out he will beat out the other one into space.
I'm not sure Elon Musk is planning to go into space.
I don't know that he
anytime soon.
wants to either. I mean, I think he just wants to send people to Mars to die. He doesn't want to go himself. So, but yeah, Jeff Bezos is going to space on the first crewed flight of the rocket.
Because Jeff is going to be going into space just a couple weeks after he has, resigned all of his public officer positions.
I mean, Elon just wants space to be able to get rid of bodies. We've already established this. He sees it as a giant body dump.
I thought he saw it as a giant warehouse, a distribution center. Oh, what, you want this? Shoot it down from the satellite.
So he wants a warehouse on the moon so that he can cover the other side of the Earth faster, is what you're saying?
I'm saying he's going to use he's going to team up with Elon Musk, and the Starlink satellites are also going to be the Amazon distribution network. So when you order stuff, it will be within 24 hours just shot down from space.
Maybe they will be. Oh, hold on, I will see if I can find it.
If those two ever work together on anything, I will be extremely surprised. Although I could definitely see. So Bezos has the ability to go straight up into space, where Elon's rockets have the ability to actually go into orbit. So if Elon really did care about that, then he would do the orbit thing and then say, okay.
Yeah. So, oh damn it! Yeah. It is such a horrible quality. I can't even play that. But I really want to. All right, so I may anyway, just because it'll be horrible quality, but we may play it anyway. So he would do something just like this.
Mark.
Bounce pulse failed to connect with target.
Holy hell, that was loud.
Sorry. Oh, that was one of the best scenes of the whole movie. So, all right, it is time. I think.
Oh, you mean when Chevy Chase is
yeah. Oh, all right. So I think we're going to go ahead and get into our double feature movie review. Like I said, this evening we are going to be reviewing Making Babies and Mr. Right. I think we should do Making Babies first. We'll go alphabetical order, and that puts it first. So,
okay.
So Colin,
Why don't you put me last on this one?
Okay. All right. You know what? I'll go first if you guys don't care. So I haven't gone first in a long time. So, Making Babies is available on YouTube. It's supposed to be a comedy, starring Steve Howe and Ed Begley Jr. and Eliza Coupe. All right. This movie is horrible. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is absurdly long for what it is. It just drones on forever and ever and ever. And even the parts which should be funny, like them tripping, I didn't find humorous at all. All right? And when The argument scene in the garage, I won't give it away, but when he says the thing you should never tell to a woman, wow, that was, you can't describe this as a comedy with that line in there. You really can't. I mean, because that was just plain mean. And it features like microbrewing beer, and those people are so annoying. Anybody that's too into that stuff, I don't know. They're in their own little world, and I don't know. I know some of them. I know quite a few. Maybe you're the exception. Maybe you're fine people. But most of those people, especially those depicted in film on those people, I don't like their characters. So anyway, this was a really bad movie. And I don't really understand. Was this a Kickstarter? Was this something? I don't know how any company paid for this. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give this a puke from my review because, like I said, I was just begging for it to be over so many times. It was horrible. And so, all right, Mike, you're up next. Why are you muted?
Because I didn't want my typing to overtake your review.
Okay.
So there's going to be some serious spoiler alerts happening here, but let's be honest. By the time we're done, I don't think any of you are going to watch this movie. So there's a scene in the church where the mom is chastising the daughter for not being pregnant yet. And this set the tone for me because this is hitting a wee bit too close to home. See, I've been on her end of similar conversations being an only child with no children. So we're just going to leave it at that. And it turns out that we are at Miley Cyrus's wedding. And Miley Cyrus is the one getting pregnant. Wow. Now, there is something about Ed Begley Jr. in this movie playing a fertility doctor that is a little unnerving. And him giving a speech about doing whatever it takes to get you pregnant, it's a little scary, to be quite honest with you. I'm a half a heartbeat away from enacting a YouTube movie ban after this. The whole conversation in the bar where the doctor is talking to the guy about his sperm counts and then the double breast pumping boss. And just when I thought the characters in this movie were going off the rails, we get Dollar Store Dalai Lama. And Dalai Lama has made this movie a little funny. What's up, peyote and Instagram filters? Makes any time a good time. The dude is trying to pay his own wife for sex. Listen, I have never in my life ever used cash to pay for sex with my wife. And this is why Bluetooth speakers are bad and you don't want to broadcast SSIDs or enable auto connect. And after all of that, of course, they finally get pregnant. Listen, folks, if you've got kids, this movie might be okay. If you went through a tough time trying to get pregnant, this movie might open some old wounds, or depending on how it turned out, it might make you nostalgic for what you went through trying to get pregnant. So I try to rate movies based on whether or not I can recommend somebody watch them. And I have no friggin' idea what to rate this movie right now because depending on your specific situation, it could go either way. Yes, the acting was not that great. Yes, the script itself was pretty bad, and there were some, probably half the scenes could have just been done without. But this is one of those topics, I guess, that just it it's too. The only thing I can do, I can give it a meh. Based on what we've said, we've kind of given you an idea of what it's about. You can decide. I am not going to be responsible for telling somebody to watch this movie to have their this would be like when Kim and I watched Marley and Me, right? It's great up until a point, and then all of a sudden we're both bawling our eyes out. Like, so.
All right. Colin, you're up.
So, yeah, the reason I wanted to go third here is so I could just say, as far as the actual review of the movie goes, what Mike said, spot on. I was going to say meh, but it goes back and forth between, if you're going through this and you're like, why isn't there any funny movies about this situation that only we've been in? Here's your movie. Enjoy. I have no idea why anybody else would want to watch this movie, but it is specifically made for that large population of people trying to have kids and having trouble. So there you go. But here's what I want to talk about. The husband in this movie is supposed to be a computer programmer, something that Shaggy and I have a great deal of experience in. And apparently he must be like a god-level programmer, right? Because there's this company that he works for that he's not actually like there all the time. He's just like, he's off writing a program on his own that they don't even have. They're not like, there's no like source control where they have a current copy of the code. But this company like sells his thing. So whatever this piece of software is that he's writing, they're already like pre-selling it to customers. So it's like, this guy must be like, on a name, he must be like someone, everybody knows his name as this god-level programmer. But then his company gets sold to somebody else, and the first thing they do is fire the entire IT department, which this is a company that sells software, and someone bought them, and the first thing they did is fire everybody who writes software. I mean, that'd be like someone buying a brewery, and the first thing you do is fire all the brewers and close down the brewery. I mean, I didn't, that. So this guy's like, I'm a god-level programmer, but now I want to mess around and I want to brew beer. What's he doing? I mean, he's like sitting around the house. I mean, brewing beer is not something you do full time, unless what I mean by that is when you don't actually have a brewery, all you have is a garage. You make some beer and it sits there for a couple weeks, and then maybe if it's a beer that goes fast, maybe you can try it there. But is he just sitting in the garage staring at his beer, waiting for it? I mean, I don't know what it is. And then his wife's like, "Oh, no, we still need money. So, I don't want to have another full-time programming job. So what am I gonna do?" So what he does, he drives an Uber. Now, I don't know if everyone's aware of this, but programmers, we have our own gig economy. Shaggy has side businesses. When you're a computer programmer, you don't have a problem of not being able to find some part-time stuff to do as a programmer, and that sure as heck is going to make a lot more money than driving an Uber around. I just look at this going, please, either learn how a programmer's life actually works, or make him an accountant or something else that, I've been doing this accounting thing and that's just too much. It's like, okay, great. That makes sense. But programming itself is already a creative thing. So when you already have a creative thing that you're doing, you don't switch to, instead I want to stare at a thing of beer. That's not how it works. So anyway, that's my review of this movie.
So what did you give it for a rating?
The exact same as Mike.
Okay.
With the exact same balancing.
All right. So then we'll go to Mr. Wright, and I'll kick it off again. All right, so this was a movie that my wife and I tried to watch together. She fell asleep shortly into the movie and asked me if it ever got any better the next day, and because she wasn't into it. Now, I found it very interesting, but I like these quirky assassin movies, especially when you get somebody like Sam Rockwell in there to play the assassin, because, Again, I'm not great with actor names, but I'm like, I know that guy. I know him from somewhere, and the dancing is familiar. Where do I know him from? Oh, okay, I know him from Iron Man, Iron Man 2. I also know him from Charlie's Angels. And yes, he's done that same little dance move and everything. So yeah, okay, that's where I know him from. And I'm like, oh, I've never seen him be a good guy before. He's always like the bad guy. This is a unique twist. Oh, but wait. He's not a good guy, but he's not a bad guy. He's just a really weird guy. But I kind of like it. And, then, so the whole idea is that he is a hitman with a conscience. Okay? So that's what it comes down to. Now, Anna Kendrick is also in this movie. She plays Martha. And Martha has some problems of her own. All right, but I know just by the opening scene of her cooking, when she's actually tossing the knife back and forth in her hand. And I'm like, oh, she's going to learn some tricks by the time this movie's over. Something's going to happen. And, sure enough, she does. And I actually tried to wake my wife up at the point where they were in the kitchen after he had taught her of the flow of the universe, and asked my wife if we were going to start throwing knives back and forth in the kitchen for fun. She was still asleep, so she didn't bother to answer. Probably a good thing. But anyway, so I kind of found this movie a little bit, fun to watch. It was a little quirky, a little actiony, a little comedy. It had all these nice little parts into it that I really kind of got interested in. And even the red nose gag didn't get old to me. So, so much so that my daughter came over last night for dinner, and I said, hey, I watched a movie the other night for the show I think you'd like. It's got Sam Rockwell, and she goes, who the hell's that? And so I told her it's a guy from, Iron Man. And she goes, oh, I've watched that. I did like it. Okay, great. So, by Mike's test here, the movie's doing pretty good. So I'm actually going to give this movie a smile because I thought it was pretty darn good. So we'll see if the others agree or disagree. Mike, you're up.
Okay. So after watching the babies thing, I cannot tell you how happy I am to get an Anna Kendrick movie to review. Awkwardness happening here. So I'm looking at this guy that Anna is dating, and he's wearing the V-neck sweater with the T-shirt, and I'm thinking, holy crap, I have a shirt like that up in my closet that I can never wear again because apparently they're worn by assholes. And I can say that with confidence because any guy that would cheat on Anna is an asshole. Seriously, she is an American treasure, and she needs to be protected. Now she gets to be, now she's drunk, talking about wanting to do something terrible. Nope, too easy. Wait, she wants to go to work and pet the cats. What? Oh, groom. Listen, did I mention how adorable she is? Look at that. She is absolutely adorable. Sam Rockwell. I have a hard time trying to figure out whether I like him or I despise him. Because the dude is good in every movie I've ever seen him in. From even that craptastic Charlie's Angels movie, he was good. Galaxy Quest, he was good. One could argue he stole a couple of scenes in Galaxy Quest. Can you fry whipped cream? Who's the culinary expert on it? Kenna, are you listening? Did you ever fry whipped cream in the bakery? Is that possible? I need to know. These are the kinds of things that we need to discuss on this show, and I need to know, because this could be culinary genius. And I don't want theories. I want physical proof that it can or cannot be done. Now, he's teaching her the ways of the Force, because that's exactly what this sounds like. Time to get a little real here, folks. I've watched this for however long, and I've been enjoying it. But when they took Anna off, kidnapped her, tied her up, and she started getting all giggly when they were smacking her around, listen, here's a tip. If you are ever around a woman, and I'm not saying to lay hands on a female, ever, but if you're ever around a woman and she goes from getting all scared and whatever to giggling and laughing, run. Run far, run fast, forget your life, start anew, get a new identity. You will be safer. Trust me. Bad guy monologue. Never works out, trust me. And the bonus, seeing the RZA turn into a good guy here. Wu-Tang ain't nothing to F with. Know this. I don't understand why we wound up in Vietnam at the end there. That part kind of confused me, but this movie is going to get a smile from me. I think Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick had great chemistry. Their characters, they made a great on-screen couple here, and this was just the right balance between fun and crazy, just like Anna.
All right. Colin, you're up next.
So yeah, this is a great movie. So it's a cute movie. You know, a woman loses her boyfriend, who's a moron, runs into another guy. They turn out to be, aptly made for each other. So you got that. Has a little bit of True Lies to it, and it's the he really is a secret agent man, but without the actual lies part, because he never tells a lie. It's great. I love this movie. My family loved this movie. This is a movie I'm going to watch again. I tell you, I'm officially going to give this movie a Shaggys, but its actual rating is...
My name is Martha, and I'm a T-Rex.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to change this rating to T-Rex Shaggys.
Yeah.
That will be Colin's rating.
Yeah. Oh. So I did find there is a YouTube video that says what happens if you fry whipped cream. Now we won't.
If it's a King or Random video, I'm gonna. Yeah, if it's a TKOR video, I'm gonna be very upset.
It's from a company called Open Fire, or from a channel called Open Fire.
Push the button.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
I just thought Colin needed more FaceTime.
I got you, Colin.
Colin needed more FaceTime. All right, so let's see here. We'll give it just a second here, and we'll see what it looks like.
Whoa, damn it.
Yep, sorry, Mike.
But
it really just disintegrates because it's mostly just oil. And
I kind
If
of
you
figured
froze
that.
it and battered it,
and then
you might
fried
not
it,
be
then
able
I
to.
think you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if it
'cause
was just
this is
if
pan
it was
frying, this
real
isn't,
cream, though, yeah, that's from a can. If it was like real whipped cream,
Well, yeah, but hers was from a can
I don't
too.
know.
So
But
Okay,
it might
fine.
be easier if you had not real whipped cream like Cool Whip. Cool Whip, you might have a frozen Cool Whip.
And-
There you go.
and I'm talking about deep frying. So like, throw it into
You got to batter it. You
that
can't just
hot
put it in by
oil.
itself. You have to batter it because you have to have something to actual fry.
yeah.
All right. Let's pick
next time for the
1 to
next show.
32.
1 to 32. Okay. Oh. By the way, do we want to have in a published author for a interview? I happen to know
That's been
a
published.
comedian and published who has a book out right now, and he's doing media tour, and I was contemplating asking him if he wanted to be on the show for an interview segment.
Sure.
The book's kind of
Always.
interesting. The book is kind of interesting. It's all about he's a comedian who ran for mayor and won. So his time is it's a comedy book all about his time being a small town mayor.
Okay.
So, all right, I will.
Just what we want. Somebody with political backgrounds and yeah. All right, go ahead. 1 to 32.
25.
25. Oh God, another YouTube freaking movie. No, stop. I don't want to play right now. What is this?
What is it?
Dinosaur Island. A boy and a girl find themselves stranded in a land of wonder, only to discover that throughout history, things have mysteriously disappeared to this long-lost world.
Oh,
Provider Film Rise. What is this? Who? This concerns me, but okay. Hold on. Let me move it over. Any YouTube movie is concerning me at this point.
is that's on YouTube?
Yeah.
Wonder if it's the same.
All right.
I'm looking at. Yeah, looks interesting. It's only an hour
Next.
and 22 minutes, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Oh, that's
All right.
true. All right.
2.
Yeah, you've been this one for a while. Unavailable. Sorry, Max Steel.
Oh, really? That's a fun movie.
Sorry, dude.
And it's got
yeah.
You've seen it already, right, Colin?
I've watched parts of it. I zoomed through it. It was not that great.
Oh, it was cute. All right.
As someone who's seen all the episodes of the original cartoon, both renditions, it was okay.
How about 5?
Oh, God. This might be just as bad. Well, it's IMDb TV, so it's free with ads. Valentine, the Dark Avenger. What in the... Oh, God. All right. Well,
Valentine the Dark Avenger.
it's on
Oh,
Amazon.
yeah. Okay, so this looks like circa Kick-Ass.
Sure. If Kick-Ass was made for a pack of smokes.
It was made for a pack of smokes. What are you talking about? Kick-Ass was horrible. So
I have this. Why do I think I've watched this already,
I don't know.
or something like it?
It's on YouTube
Oh,
as well for free. Did I actually
don't
give you
know.
guys an IMDb movie, or did I give you the link to the YouTube movie?
Now, you gave me a link to the Amazon
Oh, to the Amazon
movie, but
okay.
So it's on IMDb TV. Yeah, for some reason, I'm thinking
Well, there, I just
this
sent
looks
you
very familiar. And I
I
don't
sent
know
you the
why,
link to
but,
the YouTube one so that you don't have to bother with commercials.
It's all right. Commercials give me a chance to. They're natural stopping points, so I can get up and pee.
Well, it's only an hour and 37 minutes long, so it should be fine. Yeah. I like this. At 57 minutes and 51 seconds, supposed to be dramatic scene. Valentine walks off camera and puts on a giant chicken head. That is.
All right, now
That
you
is-
got me interested.
That is so up our alley.
God,
Hey,
help us.
so Shaggy, did you watch?
Oh, damn. No, I
video
didn't.
yet?
No, I didn't. I was too busy doing nothing. But no, I just haven't.
It's fine.
It's been nuts. I actually DJ'd a pre-K graduation on Friday night, and the week leading up to it was rebuilding my DJ rig for it so that I would have something to use for Friday night. So it's I should have it done by the next show so I can take pictures and show you guys. But the idea behind this version of the DJ rig is compact, because this was like the first gig that I was able to do. Now, granted, I didn't take any lighting, but I did have to take a lot of audio gear. That I had everything in my car, so the car fit speakers, tripods, the rig itself, everything that I needed to take with me, including a projector screen, and I even had the passenger seat in front completely empty. So I was very impressed with how well my rig worked for what it is, and the ability to cram so much into a small little space. So it's an 8U little mini rack that I have basically bolted to a cart, and I've turned it into, or no, actually it's 6U that I've converted into 7U. So it's pretty nifty. I'll like I said, I'll get it done and take some pictures and have it for the next show. But that's that plan, and yeah, we'll see. I got a wedding in September that I've got a DJ, so I'm hoping that again I can fit everything in my car, and not have to borrow my wife's vehicle every time I want to go do a DJ gig, because that means I don't have to take out car seats, because that's a pain.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to deal with car seats. They're just a pain. So, all right. I think that's about it. We are back on the regular schedule now, folks, so it's going to be 2 weeks before you see us again. We will be back on the 21st. That'll be our next regularly scheduled show when we'll watch Dinosaur Island and Valentine the Dark Avenger. And Mike is so looking forward to both of them. I can already tell he's just, he's pumped. He's like,
listen, everything is going to be a letdown after Mr. Right, okay?
Well, you could watch Mr. Right again. You could watch it again.
You know what? I cannot articulate how much I did not want to watch Making Babies. I I literally was sitting there going,
like,
am I really going to watch this?
I just remember the husband. I remember him he was the dopey son-in-law on Reba.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And he was in some movie about, like, or what was it called? Supercross, I think.
Oh, I think
and
I
that's
watched
all
all
I
those.
ever remember seeing him in.
I think I watched all those. I think they're on Plex. There's like 6 of them.
Well, the first one was like horrible. I may have the wrong name, but like he's competing. He's an amateur rider, and he's competing on a national level, sponsored. And in order to make the race, he's got to borrow parts from all the other competitors. a la Ricky Bobby, and the special effects were just terrible. Like,
okay, sorry, I was confused. You're right. That is that. I was thinking about the movie just called Cross, which is. Have you guys watched those at all? Any of the Cross films? Oh my! I'm gonna have to add them to the list if I can find them anywhere. They're so darn hard to find. But it has Danny Trejo in it, so that's the only thing. And Michael Clark Duncan, and Brian Austin Green. So that's the only thing worth saying about the movie. It is not great, but not terrible. It's just really cheesy, and the sequels didn't get any better.
Making Babies was made in 2018. Oh my God!
So
yeah, and 2018 was kind of late to be talking about IPAs. That's
Colin's still fixated on the beer aspect of the movie.
But it's the programmer aspect of it. That's what was terrible.
I'm sorry. The point where he said, "I just can't be married to someone who can't have a baby." I just like, no.
Oh. And
no,
the
he
funny part
didn't.
is, okay, so
he could have said,
wait a
"See you
second.
next Tuesday," and it wouldn't have hurt as bad.
This guy, I'm sensing a theme here because apparently this guy was in a movie in 2011 called Conception, which was a comedy that follows 9 very different couples on the night they conceive, showing what in the Sam hell is wrong with this guy.
Boy, he really likes boinking movies, don't he?
And he was in an episode of Workaholics with, the guys that show their dicks every chance they can in a movie.
Well,
okay, I'm so done with this.
Yeah, I'm with you.
One thing I forgot to say is I felt like the 2 worst actors in the entire movie were the 2 leads. And all of the supporting actors, I'm like, oh, can we just keep with them? They're fun.
I don't know. All right, folks. So that pretty much gives you a good idea about, about what we thought of the movies. I think you can take the rest from there. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, tell your friends. Join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on Twitch, YouTube, all those other fun places. We're going to have to really plan that Twitch race night and make that happen sometime.
Yeah.
So that I can get Mike in more trouble. So we'll plan that, and we'll be able to announce that on the next show. There's a holiday or something coming up. We can make that happen. So anyway, again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We know it's a stressful time. There's a lot going on, and your opportunities for entertainment are almost endless. So we appreciate every one of you guys tuning in, downloading, and subscribing to the podcast. Don't forget, you can always find us at ptrradio.com. That's where you can find out more information about the show, about the hosts, and how to subscribe if you're not already, so that you never miss a show. All right. With that said, like I mentioned before, we will be back on the 21st at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to tune in and find out what we talk about then, because even we don't know at this point. All right. With that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the 8 Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.